With the price drop from 50 down to about 30 bucks, instead of the ludicrous Benjamin for a gaming mouse ask, we're getting an entry-level Razer product which is now a lot more affordable. Still, there's a lot of competition for gaming mice at this lower price point, so you'll be asking, what's the big deal about Razer, or why should I choose a Deathadder Essential over any other mouse? Why did I finish that last slice of Hawaiian pizza? Hawaiian? Are you crazy? So many questions. And we'll compare it against a few other mice also. But I'll tell you, nothing compares to our sponsor, you. You hold the power in your hand to support us just by hitting subscribe. We do this for you. That one click helps us grow, and we give back by making useful and hopefully entertaining videos, and answering lots of your comments. So please, use that finger. Lock screen boring? We made one. Free download, link in the description. I really wanted to give a nice positive first product review for Razer. So TLDR, get a Deathadder V2 instead, and our links will be for that mouse, and you'll see why. But onto the Deathadder Essential. It's an older, entry-level gaming mouse, providing decent palm, finger, and claw grip. The main buttons are good with a slight bit of pre-travel, and center scroll sits high, and the rubbery track is a bit of a mushy feel, though the click is on point. Without any DPI button, the left side buttons are really well done, which leaves the feet, which are a little rough, and this mouse is 96 grams, so it's a bit more tanky than we're used to. Green LED only, just one effect, and no DPI adjustment without Synapse 3 software, which you must set up a Razer account and sign in. So if you're a fan of Razer with larger hands, only 30 bucks and are doing mostly casual gaming and a little surfing, this might be for you, otherwise we'd pick the Deathadder V2. Now don't get me wrong, the Deathadder Essential is a perfectly functional mouse, capable of good control and its large ergonomic shape at 127mm long by 62 wide and 43 high, with the hump located more dead center. It actually fits my larger hands better than anything I've tried, save maybe a SteelSeries Rival 300. I'm more of a palm grip myself, and it works nicely for that, though trying finger and claw, the size and shape seems good if your hands are large. Small hands will likely favor just palm grips. The pinky area angles out and flares out farther than I'd like, and for me, it makes the mouse rotate to the left just a bit. For 2021, we've adjusted our weight scale a little bit. Lightweight was at 90, but now it starts at 80 grams, and heavyweight was at 110, but now it's down to 100 grams. The Deathadder Essential comes in at 96 grams in middleweight territory, and has a noticeable control difference than my daily driver, which is 87 grams. At least the build is very sturdy in our creak test. Both the black and white Deathadder Essential versions sport the PixArt PAW3328, which is a mid-level 6400 DPI optical sensor, which is generally a decent performer. With this mid-level sensor, it's good enough for casual gaming, though likely not for more serious or pro gamers, as its liftoff distance is about 5mm, and we notice a tiny bit of liftoff or landing jitters rarely. Main left and right buttons are rated to 10 million clicks, but have a millimeter more pre-travel than we're used to for a feeling of almost precise control. Not an issue for casual gaming though. The scroll wheel sits 35mm up, a bit high for me personally, and the rubber edge and wobble between the notches means you may get slightly inaccurate scrolling. However, the scroll wheel button itself is nice and precise, no problems clicking. The side buttons are well machined and have a good tactile response, and the thumb rests nicely just below them. You'll notice there's no DPI button, and that's kind of a problem, which we'll address in the software section. On the bottom, the feet have 3 pads, and they do glide much better than a cheap mouse. The braided cable is 176 centimeters long, and the covering is good, but the cable itself is stiff and holds its shape. So it's not heavy, but using this with a mouse bungee may cause issues. This mouse is new, but the cable certainly doesn't want to flatten itself out. I mentioned that the pinky rest area flares out and is a little wider, which causes rotation for me, and of course, this may not apply to your grip at all. The mouse rotates slightly farther to the left, causing the back side button to be a bit harder to hit, but perhaps you won't experience this at all. All this adds up though, with the slight audible resistance and 96 gram weight, and slightly stiffer cable, and for me anyways, slight angle difference, all makes using this more like driving a Ford than a Mitsubishi. But I hear you say, hey, lots of people like Fords! If you're a serious gamer and try this mouse out, maybe you'll know what I'm getting at. Let's see the glide test. And green LED only accents are lighting the logo and the scroll wheel. One takeaway is that due to the weight distribution, and foot design, the slide left to right is accurate nearly every time, which is a big point in the Deathadder Essential's favor. This combination will be great for RPGs and action-adventure titles. Hold up, there's no onboard memory. Remember we talked about there's no DPI button on the mouse? In order to get that, you'll need to search Synapse Download to get Razer's Synapse 3 software, a 316 meg install. By the way, Synapse 2 won't work, and that was the first one that we found with searching Synapse software, so just be aware. After installing it, you still need to sign up and log in with a Razer account. And there was an added notification to restart to finish setting up the mouse. Really? First, you can assign mouse buttons, and the Hypershift option to extend functionality only works with Razer keyboards as far as we can see. Performance has 5 DPI settings from 200 to 6400 in 100 increments. Unfortunately, we didn't see any way to trigger this with any non-Razer keyboard command. Polling rate is a 500 to 1000 toggle. And lighting reveals a wealth of options. You have brightness and breathing mode, not even speed control. Wow. Last, there's an idle setting. There's also multiple mouse profiles you can set up for your different games. What this means for you is with no onboard memory, even if you take your Deathadder Essential on the go, in order to get the right DPI you want, you'd have to download, install, and set up everything on the guest PC. So this is not the mouse for you if you're on the go. Now, we weren't able to test any Hypershift functionality because evidently you can't assign it to a key. The website has this as a selling point, although there's no mention it only works with Razer keyboards. And if we're wrong here, or if you get it working, please do tell us and we'll update our techspinreview.com companion post. Please take a moment to hit like, get subscribed, and click the bell. It supports us and you'll get notified of our latest videos and reviews. We've been a bit harsh on the Deathadder Essential, but at $50 at launch, I feel like you're paying a lot more for name than features. In fairness, this mouse is a few years old, but at $30, this still isn't going to clinch it for the Deathadder Essential. And keep in mind, I really like the design aesthetic that Razer has got going here. Consider this an older tech clearance sale item. Listen, if you want a real Razer experience, you need to look at the $60 Deathadder V2 instead. It's lighter at 82 grams with a 20K sensor, and it addresses all the points lacking in the Deathadder Essential. There's DPI buttons, 5 onboard memory profiles versus the Deathadder Elite's 0, and Ultra Glide PTFE feet. Then there's a better braided cable too, gaining accolades as the best wired mouse from rtings.com. The tricky part is, there's a lot of quality offerings even at $30. Our daily driver, the HyperX Pulsefire Core, link up here for that review, offers a similar sensor, but liftoff is just 2mm with dual DPI buttons, and it has full RGB and is slightly smaller with a little better grip feeling. The Logitech G203 LightSync, also called the G102 LightSync in other countries, has a better sensor and liftoff, a DPI button, and stunning RGB with wave effects, and the software is very customizable. We'll throw the link up here for that review, and there's also the MSI Clutch GM11 that we covered in the GK30 keyboard combo. At the original $50 MSRP, the MSI Clutch GM30 has a better grip and RGB, and the $60 Sharkoon Light 2 200 is ultralight at 62 grams with 16K DPI sensor, better IPS and G, ventilated swappable front, PTFE for Ultra Glide, and great RGB, and these are on our keyboard and mouse playlist. So, Razer fan or not, it's important that you have the facts before you buy. This will work well as our media PC mouse. You can get the Razer, and it's still a decent mouse as long as liftoff distance doesn't factor into your gaming. Using our affiliate links below as you shop will help us a little at no extra cost to you. Note that the links are for the Deathadder V2, which honestly will perform way better. And follow us on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Techspin Review, and we have posts up at techspinreview.com. We have more peripherals, hardware, and tech reviews on the channel, so be sure to check those out too. If you want a piece of Razer tech, $30 for the Deathadder Essential is a good deal, although newer offerings do have better features, and let us know if you want to see the V2 in action. We have a review of the Logitech G304 Lightspeed wireless gaming mouse coming up, and the second part to the NAS build. And if there's a mouse that you love or are looking at buying, join the discussion in the comments. So thanks for watching, guys. Please hit like if this gave you some good info, and check out the links in the video description. You can support us directly by hitting subscribe, the bell, and if you have a question or if we missed something, then please do tell us down below, along with your ideas for what you want to see next. Thanks for your time, and bye for now.